So, good morning, everyone. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Vimala Turon from the Communication Department of AFRINIC, and I shall be your MC for this opening ceremony. Excellency, distinguished guests, AFRINIC members and delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of AFRINIC, I wish you a warm welcome to this AFRINIC21 public policy meeting in Mauritius. Today we have around 150 participants, local and international delegates from across Africa and the globe to discuss internet technology, critical internet resources, internet governance, cybersecurity, and policy development for the region. It is going to be a busy week, and without further ado, I'm going to call Mr. Sunday Folayan, the chair of AFRINIC board, to deliver his welcome speech.
Honorable Minister of ICT, His Excellency Minister Pile, members of the global internet community, members of the AFRINIC community, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you all to this meeting, the 21st AFRINIC Public Policy Meeting that is taking place in Mauritius, our headquarters. Mauritius has been home to AFRINIC from inception, and this warm, beautiful island has offered us the needed comfort and convenience for AFRINIC to grow in a stable environment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, good people of Mauritius. The sustainable development of the African continent depends on an efficient and relevant technological system. Information and communications technology continues to play a very important role in the social and economic development of Africa. It is therefore gratifying that AFRINIC, as an institution, is at the heart of assuring the connectivity of Africa to the global community. In the coming year, AFRINIC will have been in existence for 10 years. This is a very important milestone that we will be celebrating throughout the upcoming year. Since being accredited by ICANN in April 2005 as the 5th regional internet registry in the world, AFRINIC's mission has been to provide professional and efficient distribution of internet number resources to the African technical community, to support internet technology usage and development across the continent, and to strengthen internet self-governance in Africa by encouraging a participatory policy development process. During these 10 years, AFRINIC, under the supervision of the CEO, Mr. Adiel Aplogan, strove in building capacity and raising awareness among African citizens. AFRINIC conducted more than 100 training workshops in more than 45 African countries, developing the skills of more than 2,500 people in the continent, working in collaboration with African organizations and entities such as the African Network Operators Group, the African Top-Level Domain Organization, the African Computer Emergency Response Team, the African Internet Governance Forum, African Telecommunications Union, Internet Society, International Telecommunications Union, and others to increase the internet penetration and close the digital gap in Africa. We salute the efforts of all those who worked for the establishment of our dear organization, those who have been working for its sustainability, and those who will continue to patronize AFRINIC. Without your support, we will not be here today. Whereas the other regional internet registries have already exhausted their stock of IPv4 address, AFRINIC is lucky as a regional internet registry to still have some unallocated IPv4 space. Quite a number of submarine cables are beginning to connect the continent to the world, creating the need for resource allocation from AFRINIC for the expected boom on the continent. AFRINIC is committed to making these resources available within the existing policies. With the decision of the United States government to end its stewardship over the internet and transition the IANA functions from a U.S. entity to a global one, the regional internet registries are coming up with the consolidated RIR IANA stewardship proposal, CRISP. AFRINIC was tasked with recruiting 3 of the 15 members of the global CRISP team. AFRINIC will be represented by Mr. Alan Barrett, Mr. Mwenda Kivuva, and Mr. Ernest Biaruhanga. I want to thank these gentlemen for accepting the challenge. Good luck to you, my dear friends. The CRISP team will be responsible for developing a consolidated proposal on behalf of the Internet Numbering Community, which will be submitted to the IANA Stewardship Transition Coordinating Group, ICG, by the 15th of January 2015. The contribution of our youths will define the success of the Internet development in Africa. AFRINIC is committed to increasing youth involvement in the continent with its activities. For example, the AFRINIC Fund for Internet Research and Education, FIRE, is designed to encourage, foster, and facilitate ICT development initiatives within the AFRINIC region by acknowledging exceptional ICT contributions that use the Internet to address social and development challenges. Since its inception in 2012, the program has granted 22 seed grants and 9 awards. Of course, it is important to state that technological development is not possible without a close collaboration with African governments and regulators. That is why AFRINIC launched the AFRINIC Government Working Group to engage with state leaders and encourage their active participation in our bottom-up policy development process. This working group will again meet here as usual. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I cannot end this address without acknowledging the tireless work done by our pioneer CEO, Mr. Adiel Aplogan. This is the last meeting that Adiel will be attending as the Chief Executive Officer of AFRINIC, as he is moving on to new endeavors come 31st January 2015. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is too much to celebrate the accomplishments of Adiel, who has taken AFRINIC from a one-staff organization as its pioneer staff to a full-fledged regional internet registry with over 40 staff, that organization that is the pride of Africa. I therefore request you all to join me in thanking Adiel for his great work. Thank you. Thank you, Adiel. Please stand up and take a bow. Thank you very much, Adiel. I wouldn't ask for an handkerchief. As we all gather here in Mauritius for the week, I appeal to you all to work very hard, but do take the time to enjoy the beautiful and serene atmosphere offered by this paradise to relax and reflect. Thank you all for joining us for AFRINIC21. I wish you all a good meeting. Enjoy Mauritius.
Thank you, Sunday. As the chair has mentioned, AFRINIC will be celebrating its 10 years of existence, as it is in 2004 that AFRINIC was set up in Mauritius. We are celebrating a decade of open and community-driven number resource management. We have indeed come a long way and grown to become the 5th regional internet registry for the African and the Indian Ocean region. I joined the chair of the board to pay tribute and salute the great work of the founding CEO of AFRINIC and thank him for his legacy to the AFRINIC internet community. A big round of applause before I leave the floor to Adela Plogan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister Pillay, it is always a pleasure for me to welcome you among us. We had several times the occasion to chat, even at our office. Thank you very much. Dear members and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me really warmly welcome you to Mauritius, the home of AFRINIC. And for us, it is a huge pleasure and pride to have you with us at this AFRINIC 21st meeting. This is the 3rd time we are having AFRINIC meeting in Mauritius. But this one holds a very specific meaning for us because it's kicking off the celebration of our 10 years of operation. I would like to use that opportunity, and specifically when talking about the 10-year operation of AFRINIC as a registry, to sincerely express on the name of the whole African Internet community, on the name of the board, our appreciation and thanks to the government of Mauritius for its continuous and gracious support to AFRINIC over the past 10 years. We are very, very happy to be host in this beautiful island. Without the generous support of the government of Mauritius during the 2 first years, along with other governments like the government of South Africa, we don't think that AFRINIC will be where it is today. At this meeting, we have more than 150 participants from 35 countries, and that is the most biggest meeting we are having in Mauritius. So that is something to celebrate as well. Over the past 10 years, AFRINIC, including the community, we have diligently tackled one by one our challenges and our objectives, from developing an active and vibrant policy development forum to ensuring that AFRINIC is financially independent after the 2 years of incubation. All this while ensuring the growth of the organization to meet the critical need expressed by the community. Our goal, for instance, at the beginning has been to cover all the 57 countries of the region, taking our training activities to the community. I'm very happy and proud to say that as of today, we have covered all the countries that we can go, 50 countries, with more than 2,500 people trained on number resource management, IPv6, and DNSSEC. The 7 countries we haven't been able to go to is not because we didn't want, but just because we couldn't get there. The exhaustion of IPv4 space and the current ongoing process of the IANA oversight transition put the number community at a very particular junction. While we may think that, and it is true that AFRINIC still have a lot of IPv4 space available, the reality is that the very fact that we still have IP address available expose us and our organization to a very different nature of pressure. To be able to properly address these new challenges, we need the engagement of the community in reviewing and updating our number resource policies. This week, we'll have the opportunity to discuss, of course, the IANA oversight transition proposal and the input from our discussion will be put into the number community proposal. And this discussion is very critical for us because the IANA function is one critical function for our service. What we want stability on delivering that service. We want the community to be recognized in the way the oversight is exercised. You are actively invited to attend and participate and contribute to this process. Participate to the panel that we are going to have on Thursday morning to discuss our proposal or our input as Africa region to the number community proposal. As the chair has mentioned, a cross-area consolidation team has been put in place to take all the contribution from the 5 area and produce a single document that will be submitted to the ICG by the 15th of January. This week as well, we will spend time deliberating on new policy proposal and challenge related to number resource management in the region. The potential growth of use of internet in our region is very huge. Internet penetration in Africa has more than doubled over the past 3 years. The availability of bandwidth capacity is continuously growing, and the emergence of new applications based on mobile internet is real. An organization like AFRINIC has and will continue to have a key role to play to support this growth through an effective and efficient distribution of IP addresses. During the past 10 years, we have invested our energy and money as an organization to build an institution that has a strong structure to address these challenges. We have year after year worked to properly resource every corner of our activity as area. This should now allow us as an organization to continue to support our community and look into the future with confidence. I wish us all a very successful meeting. And I hope for all of you who are visiting us in Mauritius that you have saved some time in your travel schedule to visit this beautiful island of Mauritius. Thank you.
So thank you, Adiel. And I would like also to thank all the internet pioneers that have contributed to the establishment of AFRINIC, and to all the chair, namely Dr. Ni, Pierre Danginou, Dr. Viv Bayadachi, Maimouna Diop, and Badru Ntege. To keep the internet open, we need to promote a multi-stakeholder model, and it is essential to include government and regulatory bodies in this process. AFRINIC has set up the AFRINIC Government Working Group, a closed and dedicated platform to this effect. And we shall be hosting our 10th AFRINIC Government Working Group meeting today in parallel with the Africa 3rd Cybersecurity Day. I shall now invite His Excellency, the Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Mr. Tassarajen Chedembram Pillay, to give his speech.
Mr. Adiel Akplogan, founding CEO of AFRINIC, Mr. Sunday Folayan, Chair of the AFRINIC Board, Captains of Industries, Head of Public, Private and Parastatal Bodies, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I must say that it's my pleasure and honor to be here today for the opening of AFRINIC's 21st public policy meeting, AFRINIC21. Indeed, it's a matter of pride and honor for Mauritius for having been chosen to host the AFRINIC21 after AFRINIC20, which was held in Djibouti in May of this year. At the same time, I would like, on behalf of the government of Mauritius and on my own behalf, to welcome you all to our island. I know you have a lot of work to do during that conference, but still, I will humbly request you to spare some time to enjoy the Mauritian hospitality and at the same time to visit many interesting places that you have in Mauritius. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin with, it's good to know the job that is being done by AFRINIC. AFRINIC, indeed, is the regional Internet registry in charge of the distribution of Internet number resources, IPv4, IPv6, and ASN in the African region. IP addresses are critical Internet resources that allow devices to connect to the Internet. I think it is important here to highlight that an important factor in the continued success of the ICT sector is the visibility of Mauritius on the world map as a viable and privileged offshoring destination. You know, Mauritius already stands out as a safe ICT destination and rated among the first in Africa as reported by numerous consultants such as Gartner and Everest. You know, we attended a conference in January this year, which was hosted by the Commonwealth International Organization, Commonwealth Telecommunication Organization, and there they made it. They informed the audience that we have a very poor rate of internet penetration in Africa. For example, Cameroon, we have some 5% penetration. The whole of Africa, I've just confirmed it with my friend, where it's around, we have some 13% penetration. And you know, in Mauritius, in fact, in 2010, we had a penetration, an internet penetration of some 21%. But today, we have exceeded 54%. In fact, it turns around 55%. And I think, you know, ladies and gentlemen, our government has wisely and proactively identified Africa as an opportune pole of growth for Mauritius to tap. The Mauritius Africa Fund has been established to provide, in fact, support to local investors to invest in and export to Africa. I understand that AFRINIC public policy meetings aims at providing an open platform for all Internet stakeholders as well as the Internet technical community at large to discuss the latest developments in global best practices and issues of critical interest for the region, such as Internet number resources, management policies, and to keep abreast of new developments worldwide. You know, these policy discussions are the epitome of the bottom-up community-driven process which dictate how Internet number resources are to be managed in the African and Indian Ocean regions. There will be also various plenary sessions scheduled for the 26th to 28th November this year that will be preceded by various tutorials training programs, and presentations in line with AFRINIC's capacity building strategy for the African and Indian Ocean region. Network operators, internet service providers, governments, education professionals, and business leaders from across Africa and the globe will thus be discussing about internet technology, internet governance, cybersecurity, critical internet resources, and policy development for the region. I've mentioned some time before that we have an internet penetration of more than 54%. You know, how did we reach that figure? In fact, when I took office in 2010, being given that our government took the pledge to make of internet a basic citizen's right in the country, so we decided to establish computer clubs. We carpeted the whole island with computer clubs wherein free internet facilities were given to our people. At the same time, at the level of school, we said that we're going to revolutionize the way we educate our children. And for that, we started the Sankore project. And at the same time, a lot of facilities, internet facilities, are given to our students. And very recently, we came with a project of 1 laptop per child, but we prefer to give a tablet to our students of Form 4 so that they can have access to internet facilities. And at the same time, we set up Wi-Fi zones. And today, I can say the whole island, in many public places, we have Wi-Fi zones. And some few months ago, we've started even roping in the private sector to assist us in that field. And you will see now in many public places, you have Wi-Fi zones which have been established so that people, even when they're going to the bus station, there also you have Wi-Fi facilities, because when passengers are waiting for the bus to come or waiting for anybody, they can still sit, have access to internet facilities, because we believe in the work, in research that can be done through internet. And that's why we have given all those facilities, and that's how, at the same time, we've encouraged a good penetration of internet in Mauritius. This event will also host, I understand, the 10th meeting of the AFRINIC Government Working Group, with the intention of strengthening the collaboration between AFRINIC, African governments, and regulators on building an African infrastructure for the future. In today's world, where the internet is open and free, it is crucial for governments and regulators to join in the talks with the technical community for an effective governance of the internet. Today, as I open this conference, I must commend the effort of AFRINIC to meet its responsibilities towards information and knowledge in the sector. AFRINIC21, a decade of open and community-driven number resource management in Africa, I believe is a very innovative conference aimed at creating a discussion forum for building ICT infrastructures and capacities for regional business systems, and is certainly an incentive that we applaud. AFRINIC21 comes at the right moment to give an impetus to the actions already being undertaken by the Mauritian government in trying to improve business performance through adoption of innovative technology. Indeed, the AFRINIC21 training courses include IPv6, Internet Number Resource Management, RPKI, cybersecurity, amongst others, all of which are relevant to the needs and demands of the market. You know, the value of research, knowledge sharing, and exchange of ideas here cannot be overlooked. There is a growing amount of research that aims at bringing out the critical role of information and communication technologies and innovative technologies in improving business performances. Indeed, new technologies cannot only speed process up or allow flexible new ways of working, but can transform how your business functions and can often save your time and money. You know, IPv6 is another area that deserves recognition. Let us remember that gouverner, c'est prévoir. We knew that under the IPv4, we were already at capacity of 4 billion. We knew that if no action was taken, we would have been incapable of providing for growing demand for IP addresses. Therefore, since June 2012, in anticipation of growing demands, our government has put in place the migration to IPv6, whose capacity will expand from 4 billion to 9 million. You know, gentlemen, when you have that ambition of making Internet a basic citizen's right, when you want to have a better penetration of Internet, you have to look at the other aspect of the case also. We know, actually, many countries are using that protocol, IPv4, which is limited to 4 billion addresses. We have a world population of around 7 billion people with a growing need. And you can witness every day we have more and more Internet subscribers. And there will be a time when there will be a saturation. And that's why, since June 2012, we came with that idea of migrating towards IPv6. And today, we have already started that process. And we are sure that the whole country will move towards that migration. There will be that migration to IPv6, where that possibility of having problems with Internet in Mauritius will not arise, because we want Mauritius to become the preferred, safe, and secured ICT destination. And it is of paramount importance when we have optic fiber cables coming to Mauritius. We have, during the last 3 years, more than 3 cables coming. There are cross-connection also at the same time. But we have to take into account that we have to set up the right infrastructure to be able to attend to the needs of those of the Internet community. Ladies and gentlemen, let us remember that the entire purpose of these workshops that we are hosting here were for sharing knowledge amongst stakeholders so that we can improve the quality of goods, services on offer. We must strive to produce quality services and products and low-cost solutions for our consumers and citizens. Accessibility should not be our only objective. We must also ensure affordability of products and service across the board. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference is of paramount importance when we take into account the magic around Internet. I sincerely hope that you will benefit a lot from those workshops which have been destined for giving you all the background information that you may require towards making internet a basic citizen's right for your people. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me once again to congratulate AFRINIC for its 10 years of existence and this initiative of the conference. I'm very proud of it. And I will, on this note, declare the AFRINIC21 open. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It is true, as you just say, the young generation is our future, and that education is crucial. It is also true that ICT is also one of the most powerful technology and tool for the socio-economic development in Africa. Access and resiliency is crucial. It is important that we adopt and deploy IPv6 now. I'll also, ladies and gentlemen, before closing this ceremony, I'll call on the floor again Adela Plogan to pay tribute to some pioneers of the African Internet community. Mr. Plogan.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Minister, for accepting to stay with us another probably 10 minutes. As I mentioned before, we are kicking off the celebration of our 10 years operation. And during this opening, we would like to recognize especially somebody, but behind him also an institution. When AFRINIC started, the first funding agreement that was signed by AFRINIC was with the OIF, Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, and its president, President Diouf, was himself at AFRINIC office to sign this MOU. But behind that support that we had since the beginning of AFRINIC, there is one person who has shown a continuous engagement for this continent, no matter where he is. And I would like to call on stage Pierre Ouédraogo. And why are we calling him here today? First of all, it is because Pierre Ouédraogo is retiring soon. This is probably his last AFRINIC meeting. And more than that, he has to leave us tomorrow very early to Dakar, where you know that the OIF is having its General Assembly. So we don't want to miss the opportunity to thank him and his organization for everything they have done for AFRINIC, for the community globally. And Pierre, I would like to ask the Minister of ICT to give you a special So, beside being an engaged soldier for the internet development, Pierre is one of the prestigious John Postel Award winner from Africa. And this is a pride for us to have Pierre among the 2 African recipients of the John Postel Award. Pierre, I will leave you the floor.
I will speak in French, of course.
I will.
But you have translation. Excellence.
Your Excellency, Mr. Pillay, Ministry of ICT of Mauritius, Mr. Chairman of the AFRINIC, Mr. the General Manager of AFRINIC, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, in the name of Francophonie and Administrator of OEF, I would like to reiterate in this message of the interests of the Francophonie and especially concerning the works of this 21st meeting. It is the opportunity for us to thank the Mauritian government to have offered to AFRINIC facilities here in Mauritius, the offices, as you mentioned before, which were inaugurated in the presence of Abu Diouf, General Secretary of Francophonie. I would like first to thank Abdel Agong to have, together with Jamin Sadef, President of ICAM, on the conference of the future of internet governance in Paris in June 2014. I would like to thank Adiel and all his team for this very fruitful partnership with OIF during 10 years, and its important contribution for the statistic concerning the African numeric, which will be a document which will be given at the Dakar summit at the end of this week. This meeting of AFRINIC comprises a numeric strategy of AFRINIC, which had adopted by the head of state and the government, and during the last summit of Francophonie, which took place in 2012 in Kinshasa. This strategy aimed to the taking place of a society, open society, which favors the cultural diversity, linguistic diversity in the numeric development. This vision complies with the values of Francophonie, which is sharing and solidarity. With this strategy, OIF will continue its partnership with AFRINIC for its program of 2015 and 2016 through a new initiative concerning the internet ecosystem, regional and national, with a country approach on the model of multi-actor, and an integrated model like the actions which took place in Chad with OCAM, ISOP, and AFRINIC. OEF remains convinced that the development of numerical development goes through a promotion of development and also by the setup of internet national and regional ecosystem. So the program of the 21st program of AFRINIC reassures us concerning this, because it is going to promote better practices on the internet use of internet resource and cyber security through Africa Search. We can all remind you of the good management of that numeric development contributes to the taking place of a numeric industry for the growth of the economic growth of Africa and its numeric sovereignty. I would like here to thank Abdel for his excellent work, which he accomplished at the head of AFRINIC with a pioneer spirit, with international skills, recognized international skills, and great determination. And it has contributed in the name of the community what I would call the richness of AFRINIC. And since its inception, he has carried that on his back, and during 10 years in conditions, very often very difficult conditions. I would like to tell you and all your team of AFRINIC and all the respect and admiration of IEF having made AFRINIC such an international recognized organization. I would like also to the other pioneers who played a role. Pierre Dachono, who was with the PNUD, Dr. Mikeno, who had been mentioned here as being one of the recipients of King John Poster. I wish to end when that the administrative team will succeed in passing over successfully for the next chairman, and which will be able to get everybody together, so as to that becomes important. Being sure that AFRINIC is on the right tracks. I wish you much success for your works. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pierre.
Je vous remercie, Pierre.
Et peut-être pour finir.
To end this part, I would like
invite here for a picture with Pierre our other two John Postel awardee that I can recognize in the audience. Daniel, Dr. Ni, please join us with Pierre on stage, please. Daniel.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you, Daniel. And thank you, Dr. Ni, also known as the father of the Internet in Africa. So, I will just end by thanking AFRINIC21 sponsors for the generous support of to this event. Our international sponsors, Microsoft, Google, ISOC, Affilias, ICANN, Africa, ACE, and SICOM. And to our local sponsors, ADBM, MTML, Orange, MTEL, Samsung, DCL, Electrum, and Bharat Telecom. We shall now break for coffee, and we'll come back for the Africa CERT cybersecurity session organized by Africa CERT, and that will be run by Jean-Robert Houtomé. I shall invite all the journalists in the room to proceed to the press conference in the Grain de Sel restaurant. We shall have a special coffee break for our media colleagues. Thank you again, dear delegates, for your presence during this opening ceremony. AFRINIC 21 est ouvert.